Love, and with me, I have my two phenomenal, fantastic, and amazing co-hosts. I have KRICH and AFOX.
Yeah, I like that introduction. Thank you.
My pleasure. So tonight we are going to be talking about, if y'all haven't seen us on social media, I want you guys to please get on there. Please come, make sure you support our page. We are on Instagram and Twitter at _Hot Wife Hot Life. On Facebook, you can find us on Hot Wife Hot Life. So please go like our page, share this broadcast, and let people know what we have going on tonight. So we are going to delve into the topic of infidelity. Last week, if you were with us, we had Mr. Floyd Potts.
Yes.
Mr. Potts was on here last week, and he did an amazing job.
Yes.
He went into a lot of good detail to tell some of the women about, just some of the antics and shenanigans he had going on back in the day, and some of the things that he did to persuade women to, come his way and choose him. So, to piggyback off of that, we want to come back tonight and really get into infidelity and really start talking about more so of what do you consider infidelity to be? And a lot of times, I think as individuals, we tend to say that it's, actual physical intimacy or physical intercourse. But infidelity can be done prior to that, I believe. Would you agree?
Yeah, a lot of people do feel that way. They have a consensus. I want to say for our audience right now, this is a mature topic.
Yes.
So parental discretion is advised because, of course, dealing with infidelity, we're talking about something that could be inappropriate for young children. So, let's just keep that in mind as we continue on with the show this evening. But with that being said, yes, a lot of people feel like, infidelity could be the friendship before the act. It could be the virtualness. I tend to disagree. And I've always gotten beat up because I do disagree with that. But at the end of the day, people feel like that emotional connection with someone is even more detrimental than the physical, as far as a lot of people, are concerned. So, yeah, that's what we're delving into tonight to find out what the opinion is.
Yeah, I think.
Hey, Rich, what's your point on this?
I agree. I think a lot of people have different versions of what is cheating.
Yeah.
And so, and then there's no right or wrong.
Right.
It's what it is to you, and so now.
Kind of like art. It's abstract. I just touched his shoulder. Really?
But if you don't have that conversation with your mate, and a lot of people don't.
Right.
They don't communicate. We always talk about communication being the number one thing. And so if they don't communicate with their partner what cheating is to them, then that's where the problem lies. Because a lot of people think porn, right?
Right.
It's not cheating. They
think strip clubs.
Strip clubs is not cheating.
And that was actually an argument that was on a previous show of mine. And literally, I got beat up for saying I didn't think not texting, but the videos like sending stuff or whatever, I didn't feel like that was
sexting?
Not sexting, but sending like your videos and stuff like that. I was like, you're not physically touching anybody. But they beat me up for that. However, said it was no problem with being in the strip club. Screws me. First of all, in the strip club, don't try to play. Y'all know darn well you got VIP, okay?
Right.
You can carry your tail upstairs, and they can get
and
all
get
them.
extremely
You touching and everything.
Well, you touching right there on the floor, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
so my point is, how y'all gonna trip on videos when y'all up there VIP? Don't play. But that was, the general consensus. Of course, there was the argument that they didn't feel like strip clubs were a form of cheating, especially if their spouse agrees with it.
Right. And what I think that for a lot of people, it does come down to, maybe just where you're at in terms of your relationship.
Yeah.
In terms of if you've been in a position where you've been cheated on.
Right.
And the circumstances around that. A lot of people really tend to think that cheating is on you. Like, what did I do wrong? How did I cause? What could I have done differently? When overall, especially from last week, we learned that it's really the guy.
It's the person.
Or the lady, whoever the person that does the cheating. it's really directed to where they are.
Correct.
Yeah.
You know, and issues that they have themselves
correct.
that causes them to step out and do that. So I think, you know, more than anything, out of this topic, I want people to get that if you happen to be in a position where you are being cheated on, where you are, you know, feeling very insecure in your relationship, understand that it really doesn't have anything to do with you. And I think that a lot of people want to bring it back and say, well, maybe because she was doing or he was doing what you weren't doing. You know, but sometimes it's not about that.
Right.
You know, sometimes people go out and they cheat, and it has nothing to do with the person that they have.
Exactly. But I want to flip that. I want to go on the other side of that. Well, there are reasons that some
Yeah,
people
there are.
do.
Absolutely.
But
there are.
what I want to say, though, is a lot of people will argue with you that that's not the case, that that person is still responsible at the end of the day. If they're so unhappy and if they're so miserable, then they should just leave a situation, not cheat on a situation.
Correct. Now, I do agree with that.
At the end of the day, if that is the case, you don't feel like there could be mitigating factors that cause someone to want to step out. Some people, it could be the other person that's pushing them away. It could be the one where they're looking for some kind of support. They don't get it at any point in time. You know, they try and they try and they try, and then you got somebody else in your ear that's saying all the right things and doing all the right things. You may not have had an opportunity to leave at that point. You know what I'm saying?
I do definitely
So
understand that.
a thing that I would like to say is that there's so many different situations that I think cause infidelity, that it's not just one-sided. It's not just, well, this person was this and this is that. There are reasons and root causes to everything that somebody
correct.
does,
That's true.
good, bad, or indifferent. And that's what I think needs to be explored and understood as we continue to delve into the topic. It's uncomfortable. You know,
Yeah,
nobody really
absolutely.
wants to talk about it, but it has to be, you know, addressed, because guess what? The
It's
percentages
happening, yeah.
are so high.
Right.
And let me help church folk.
Go ahead.
Especially in the church, okay?
Yes.
You know, where we have a divorce rate based on infidelity. So they can say whatever they want. Oh, we don't need to be discussing. The problem is we're not talking about it. And that's why it's probably all happening all the time and much too frequent in this day and age.
Do you think it's because we're not talking about it, or do you think it's because it's so acceptable?
You know, it's funny that you say acceptable, because do you really think it is? Because, I mean, when infidelity gets exposed, it's like, oh my God, how dare they? As
Yes.
if people
The-
can't
the-
have, you know, as
Yeah.
if it could just
if
never.
it doesn't happen, right? As
Right.
often as it does. But I guess what I'm saying is, especially, you know, again in Atlanta, what you say, 23-1?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Now in Atlanta, it's a different puppy.
Is it?
I think so. To be honest,
So, you know, we hear women say all the time, I don't be in the dogs, I don't be in cheat. That's just what they do. They cheat, right? And so, you know, then like you say, once it happens, then they with the uh-oh face,
Yes.
looking like, how this happened to me? Well, then you just say that all men were dogs and all men cheat.
But you know, I think that in anything, people have are very judgmental towards other things happening, because you always think it's not going to happen to me.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
always think
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know, my stuff is good.
Right,
it's not
right.
going to be messed
I'm
up.
taking
and
care
maybe
of
they have,
home.
yeah.
Right,
You know, and
yes.
I think we tend to build things up in our minds
That's
to
true.
think that it's one particular way. Especially, like you said, AFOX, earlier, when you talk about people being in relationships and you think that everything is great. And just because they're coming home and you may have a little basic conversation, but maybe this person is wanting more than what you're offering. Or maybe, you know, you're tired all the time, you know, and they're a person who, you know, because KRICH, I think you've said before, you may be more of a go-getter type
right.
of person. Or you
Going
want to
out,
be
yes.
out and be
Yeah.
gone, and you're very active, whereas your husband is more of a
Lay
homebody.
back, right.
So when you don't deal with those type of issues, it tends to create a problem where maybe you cause somebody to maybe pursue a double life.
right,
So they come home
right,
to you
right.
in what you think is like, oh, we have a
Everything's
great
perfect.
home life, but then they're out somewhere else and they're the life of the party. They turned up, you know, then everybody's face, you know, they always skinning and grinning. So when you start looking at it from that perspective, you know,
Yeah.
you got to realize, hey, maybe, and take ownership, because like you said, AFOX, it does take two, regardless, at some point in time.
Yes.
You have to own up to
Yes.
what you participate or how
Right.
you
No.
add to that.
I think it's the person. You know, I think it's the person that, you know, because I always use this example. Like, I got friends who have, when I say they do everything for their man.
Right,
Cook,
right.
clean, Okay, this is a grown show, right? Suck, tuck, roll,
Right, okay.
everything. And that man, as soon as he can hit the door, he cheated.
Now, and see, in that particular case, see, again, this is where I say it goes to categories. You're talking about the narcissist. We had this question in one of our Facebook groups just the other day, and it talked about, what are reasons that men cheat? That was a question. It was on Family Feud. And one of the one I said was just greedy, because you do have those men that have it all at home, and it still isn't enough. Which to me represents what Mr. Potts was talking about last week. The narcissist, it's all about him. It's all about, so even though the gravy train is home, it's not enough for him.
Because it's about him. Because he still hasn't done what he needs to do. He hasn't done his work. Right.
But there are, and I'm going to tell you, I'll play the other side of this coin. I don't think women
are very
and if we're talking about
even girls, even young girls.
Well, I was about to say, hold on, this ain't happened just yesterday. The girls was faster in school than the boys were any day. I'll never forget, even in college, I remember how all the little, my aunt used to say, fast tail girls. Right. The little fast tail girls was worrying about the parties where the boys was in there, they were studying in the library. So a lot of times they can stay focused and they can be focused, but women can tend to be very aggressive. And in Atlanta, I say especially, when you tell a woman, that's just not your flavor, they're gonna turn it up until they become the flavor.
Well, and I would say this too for women. And I've heard men say that they may not be interested, and the first thing a woman want to say is, "Oh, well, you must be a homosexual." So you start putting things to a position, like you say, AFOX, where you want to make the man feel like, okay, well, if you don't want to be with me, it has to be something wrong with you.
Yeah.
Versus saying, okay, I respect the fact that as a married man or a man in a committed relationship, you would rather not be with me, and I applaud you and appreciate that. But instead of doing that, you flip it and make him feel like he's doing something wrong because he's not pursuing you.
Yep, exactly. That's another good take. So, I mean, callers, what do you guys have to say? Call in at 770-415-2149. Let us know your opinion. Does anybody have a take on this particular topic? We would love to hear from you. And we are going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to continue to delve into the topic. And while we're on this subject, we're going to talk, can a marriage survive infidelity? Right. Because a lot of people have experienced this and want to know, can you bounce back? I want to let you guys know there is hope. You're listening to Hot Wife, Hot Life right here on 108 Praise Radio. And we will be right back in just a few. Experience this and want to know, can you bounce back? I want to let you guys know there is hope. You're listening to Hot Wife, Hot Life right here on 108 Praise Radio, and we will be right back in just a few.